This programming is brought to you by Wisconsin Cheesemakers Association, with partnership from the Dairy Business Innovation Alliance and Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, and with generous support from Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery, Emmy Roth, Great Lakes Cheese Company, Wapsie Valley Creamery, and contributions from Specialty Cheese Company and Westby Cooperative Creamery. Thank you. All dairy products start on their journey to your dinner table on a farm in the form of milk. Every day across the United States, more than 600 million pounds of milk are transported to the nation's dairy manufacturers. Each processing facility is different, with plant layout and equipment determined by the end product. Still, the flow of milk through plants is fairly standard, determined by food safety regulations and industry best practices. In this video, we'll show you each step of the process and highlight the network of dedicated personnel working to bring you bottled milk, cheese, yogurt, and other delicious, nutritious dairy products.
We buy milk from 170 different farms that are scattered across northeast Iowa.
Ryan Nielsen is a fourth-generation cheesemaker, leading Wapsie Valley Creamery in Independence, Iowa.
This is the first stop for the milk as it comes into the plant before we can turn it into cheese.
The milk begins to arrive at 3 o'clock each morning, and loads continue to come throughout the day. Here, milk haulers and intake personnel partner to perform key initial tests.
Once we get approved for all the quality checks, then we start pumping the milk into the silos, and then we wash the trucks and seal them up and send them back out to pick up more milk.
From intake, milk is pumped to the first stage of processing.
This is our milk pasteurizer room where we're cooking the milk up to 162 degrees and then cooling it back down to 90 degrees to make cheese out of it. And we're cooking the milk to kill any bad bacteria that could come in the milk from the farm.
Most processors pasteurize their milk, though some artisans use raw milk in cheese making, opting instead to age their finished products and perform additional testing to ensure safety and quality. After initial processing, milk heads to the vats. The basic ingredients for any natural cheese are simple: milk, starter culture, rennet, and salt.
Today we're making marble cheese or Colby Jack.
Starter culture, essentially a good bacteria, turns milk's natural sugar, lactose, into lactic acid. This allows milk to coagulate. Rennet then separates the curds and whey.
We have our ingredient area over here where we add the starter culture, enzyme or rennet, and also color if we're making a colored cheddar or a Colby.
After cheesemakers add salt to the curds, cheese is formed.
So this is where we're taking the cheese from the stir tables and putting it into a box, and we're going to press it into one giant block of cheese. And so we call this the block fill, and then we probe and press the cheese after that to get that nice big block of cheese with no pockets of air or whey in it.
Cheese comes in all shapes and sizes, with the largest standardized block weighing in at 640 pounds. It takes approximately 10 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese, so cheese making creates an abundance of whey.
So whey is mostly water, and then our job is to remove that water and fractionate it into sugar, protein, and fat. So we use a separator to remove the fat that gets made into butter or butter products. And then the lactose we crystallize and dry that into a powder. It goes into all kinds of different foods for people and animals. And then the whey protein is what's left over, and we dry that and it goes into all kinds of different foods that we eat as an ingredient.
When production is complete, packaging begins.
This is our cheese packaging room.
Some packaging processes are automated, but people remain essential in every area of dairy manufacturing plants.
Pedro's taking the finished product off the line right now.
While dry dairy byproducts can be kept at room temperature, packaging and storage areas for cheeses, yogurts, milk, and other fresh dairy products must be kept cold.
You have to keep it under 45 degrees to keep bad bacteria from growing. We don't want the food to warm up and spoil, so we have to keep it cold.
Dairy processors follow strict food safety practices And they test finished products to ensure safety and quality.
Lots of other plating and incubating and different pieces of equipment up here.
Some plants have laboratory technicians or other quality assurance personnel on site, while others contract out for these services. When testing is complete, dairy products head out the door.
Truck drivers behind me that are hauling the cheese to the two coasts, to the bigger cities, so that people can eat that cheese, and lots of other cut and wrap facilities that are going to cut that cheese up and put it into little packages for people at the grocery store.
So-called cut and wrap facilities are also dairy processing plants. They are responsible for converting bulk products into packaged portions, ideal for food service or for direct-to-consumer sales. That's the next stop on our journey through the dairy supply chain.
The cheese that I deal with every day, I'm able to see it at this last stage before it gets out and shipped to nationwide.
Here at Great Lakes Cheese in Wausau, Wisconsin, and at other dairy processing facilities across the country, cheese is sliced and shredded to meet the needs and preferences of consumers. The team's goal may be simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy.
I work a lot with the warehouse workers, the forklift operators, the pickers.
Together, warehouse personnel and shipping leads load trucks with dairy products bound for points nationwide and around the world.
It's like a giant puzzle, and it's just fun to work through. And if it doesn't fit there, you got to move it out and create something new.
Hey Natalie, can you please take out door number S3 so I can get my food in for tomorrow?
I love the challenge. I love using my mind every day. It's not monotonous. You're doing something that's making an impact, so it's going to feed a family.
AFFINAGE.
AFFINAGE is the aging of cheese. So after cheese is made, it's not completed until it's done aging. The aging is where the proteins and fats are broken down, the flavors are developed, the body is developed, and the end cheese is really made.
C of A, or Certificate of Analysis.
It tells you what's in the product, what the composition is. If it's cheese, it would list the pH levels, moisture.
BOL, or Bill of Lading.
Bill of lading is basically, it's a documentation of what that truck carries. That's just a general default. Every truck carrier has to have that. So if you get stopped by any kind of law enforcement officer or anything like that, that's basically your passport to show that you're okay.
SOS packaging.
It's a rigid type tray that has no paper interleaf in it. Means slice on slice. Easy for the food industry to use. They can peel the film back on it, pull their slices out, and then they can push the film back down.
Pasteurization.
It's heating milk up to a certain temperature to kill all the bacteria out of it, so it's safe to drink.
HACCP, Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points.
Food processors get certified in HACCP so they can ensure the safety of their products. You might also hear the acronym PCQI in the food safety world. That's Preventive Controls Qualified Individuals, and people who are PCQI trained may lead food safety teams.
Wisconsin Cheesemakers Association thanks you for watching. Thanks also go to our programming partners, the Dairy Business Innovation Alliance and Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Generous sponsors Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery, Emmy Roth, Great Lakes Cheese Company, Wapsie Valley Creamery, and contributors Specialty Cheese Company and Westby Cooperative Creamery. Thank you.